into a good submission, we're going to do a couple of these. It'll be just kind of fun to start with. We're going to start with a grip. Okay. Sometimes we're going to want a better grip than the traditional grip. So I'm going to give him a little pull and I'm going to open his gi up. You guys see that big bubble right there in the back? Looks like a hand would fit right there. See how I just made that? And I'm going to dig in and I'm going to grab it this way. So I've got an underhanded grip now. Okay? So I'm going to start here, make a little bubble, shove it in. Now, I'm not going to do anything immediately. We'll start messing with him. All right? I might work his feet a little bit. Just to kind of see. I want him to forget about this. This is what I want. Okay? I'm going to pull him, lock my hands behind his head. All right? Now, who knows floating through, by the way? Ukiwaza. It's kind of like Ukiwaza. All right? Grab, dig, here. Now, I'm just going to come up. When I drop, I'm going to yank his head towards the ground, which will make him roll. Okay? And then I'm going to end up on top of him with my hands behind his neck. Everybody can see here? Now, at this point, I've only got a quick second to finish him. I'm going to drop my elbow towards the other arm, and I'm going to kick my legs out, and he's going to tap. Then we call this baseball choke or sword choke, like you're holding a baseball bat or a sword. Who's got it? Who needs to see it again? Throw him again. A couple of pointers. We already know when we're making any kind of lapel choke, whatever it might be, we're going to pull with one, we're going to push with the other, right? Right? If I'm doing paper cutter, I'm going to pull with one, I'm going to cut with the other, right? Does that make sense? This is really not a significantly different throw. The difference is that I've set my hand in this position so that I can make the cut. I have to have my elbow in a way that'll bend. Like my elbow doesn't bend this way, it bends this way nicely, so I got to be in a different position. So I go to make the choke, and I'm seeing a lot of folks, after you made your throw, you're in the sword choke position, you're putting your elbow on his chest. And that's uncomfortable, but it ain't choking anybody. And I keep saying, put the elbow to the ground, right? So we want to pull this hand to here, get the wrist near the throat. You're still holding on, right? And then I'm going to move over this way. You can see it's already tight. But once I put that elbow to the ground, and I kick this foot out, it gets super tight. It really locks in there, okay? Now, if the hand is way over here, I can still do it, but look at all the space. Let's take up the space so that when I pull, I'm making this choke, I'm cinching it up. Did that help anybody?
Sure.
All right, so how many of you felt like that you were like, oh, why isn't it working? And the guy's just like, it ain't choking me, but I don't like all that weight on my chest. Okay? I mean, you know, that's rookie mistake, you know, just work through that. All right? From here, you got good hand position, you just rotate that over until, this hand shouldn't move, until it's here to the ground, okay? That elbow should go to the ground. And I've let the uniform go, which gives him the space to breathe. If I had been holding it, that wouldn't have turned. Does that make sense? All right. New partner, quickly. All right. Lyndon's gonna make this throw and his choke, right? He's going to make good application. I'm probably going to be tapping pretty quick, which is okay. Then I'm going to try to show you guys how to unlock this particular throw. So we'll show the defense right after he makes his throw. When you're ready, sir. All right, there it was. I mean, he was right there. Hold on. Go ahead, hold on. All right. That's a lot of uncomfortableness on the throat. Now notice he's on my windpipe. I don't like that, so what should I do? Go to my shoulder. All right? Now, if he's holding this hand properly and pulling, it should be hard for me to get to my shoulder. All right, so he applies the pressure to choke me. I turn to my shoulder this way. Then I got to unlock this thing, right? So I start opening it up and trying to get out of that hole, okay? All right, go ahead and make the lock again. Very uncomfortable. You only got a second because he's going to be choking the piss out of you. Move to the shoulder. Go ahead and choke. I just bought myself time, right?
Yep.
I start unwinding this by framing here, frame here, and now choke. Nope. Just make a little bit of pressure. That frame is the escape, okay? Pretty cool?
Yes, sir.
All right. Push the elbow, make the frame, because he's got to be close and tight for this to work. So what do I want? I want him out, slightly open. Pretty cool? All right, now, if they're significantly bigger, like my buddy Jeremy here, and they really lock this thing in, you'll probably go out. I mean, you got 1 second. This is a shock and all kind of a move. It just hits you, and you're just going to be probably seeing, you know, it's going to get dark real quick. You got to be able to feel the choke after the throw and instantly know what to do. You can't play around, right? Frame this thing up, turn onto your shoulders. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's kind of think about it without landing on top of me. I'm here, he just threw me. I got to move with this hand. I got to get that arm up, and I got to frame this way to make some space, right? Then I got time, and I can start negotiating out of it to a better position. Pretty cool? All right. Give it a try. Go one time, nice and slow work, or maybe once or twice through the defense. The defense is what again? What's the first step? Quickly turn to the side. What's the second step?
Make space. Push elbow.
Make space by framing, right? I want to get the elbow up and get his face pushed away from me. And I'm going to push this elbow out. Okay, so that's going to give me just enough room. It's not a lot of room, it's just enough room to breathe. Okay, they need to be trying to choke you. Once you start making your frame, you say, okay, apply pressure and see if you framed properly. If they're still choking you, call me over. Go. He's going to be here and he's going to crank this way, right? So he's going to interlock his fingers. He said he can do it even if there's only 2 fingers touching, he can still do it, right? Lock, it's still the same crank but without a uniform. Does that make sense? So he can do that. My other instructor, Hayashi, he just about put me unconscious first time I saw this choke. And he did it from the underside of side control. Okay? So here's the thing. Caleb goes to make the throw, right? And I sprawl out, then I end up in the top position. All right, he's still gonna choke me a little bit, but don't choke me too much so I can still talk to the camera. And he goes to make the throw, and I end up here. He can still start squeezing and choking. Now, hold right there. If I turn this way, it gets worse. But if I go this way, it unlocks the choke. Does that make sense? Yes, sir. All right, doesn't that just stand back up? Let's look at it from up here. He makes a choke. All right? Doesn't it make sense? If I go one way, it gets worse. But if I can go this way, it unlocks everything. So if they do the bailout, he goes to make the throw, right? And I sprawl, and he's like, I still got you. If I go this way, it's bad. If I go this way, I can escape it just by moving my body. Give that a try. You know what I mean by that? All right, so Joel, if I say we got to look at things mechanically, not by technique, how about the arm bar? We know that if the thumb is in this position, then the elbow's on the bottom. Mechanically, the arm only works one way. This makes the lock. It's the same thing if we're working this choke. I make some space, and I get here. Mechanics of me doing this, I turn and get into this position, right? If he goes one way, it gets worse, okay? So we're looking at, once you get this position and I pull him down, he goes into side control, and I'm choking him, right? If he goes one way, it should be worse. If he goes the other way, he should be able to unwrap it. Now look, mechanically speaking, if he sits up and I let go, look at my hands. You see how my hands are no longer together? Right? So mechanically, he has unlocked the choke just by moving. Remember, this is the bailout if you don't make the throw. So make the throw and get the top position, because they can't move as easy. They have to frame to get out. Who understands that concept? Who's like, I get it. I see the mechanics of this, and then I move until his arms are not together. That just makes sense. All right. If I say learn it mechanically, if you figure that piece out, you no longer need me. If you have to learn the technique by me showing you, that's still a technique. That's a way to learn. It's not bad. But if I get abducted by aliens or hit by a meteor and I'm no longer here, what are you guys going to do? Use your brain, right? Start figuring these chokes out. Choke each other and say, okay, how am I going to get out? Right? If you pass out, your defense didn't work. He'll wake you up. Pretty easy, right? All right, we must fight. Everybody get on the wall. Now, depending on what he does, how he resists, this might be a difficult throw, right? But if I pull him this way and that foot is left behind, then on my next pull, I'm going to step to this foot and I'm going to stop that one and I'm going to pull him into ankle property throw. Does that make sense? Sure. So again, we'll do it in slow motion. Does that make sense? Sure. All right. A little bit slightly faster mode here. I might even give him a little pull and a little push up this way to set him. All right. Pull here, big pull here. And I commit to getting down low. If I totally miss the foot, sometimes this does happen, but my pull is strong, I could pull this shoulder to the ground. If I miss the foot, he still might fall, and they can still take the top. But try to catch the foot. Get some space. Ready? Let's kind of watch this. Let's do it on the line. So if I'm going to do Tomonagi, this is circle throw, I'm pretty much going to stay on the line, right? Give him a push, give him a pull, and then I set this foot and he goes over. Does that make sense? This is not Tomonagi. It's a different throw, but it's got some things in common. The grip could be in common, right? I pull him. Let's see if I can more or less stay on the line here. I pull him, right? And then I got to get off the line. So I'm a step two. Now watch, I'm not going to land on the line. I'm going to land here. Then I'm going to roll over. See how far off the line I am? So if I get it this way, nice and slow, watch. Pull with the left hand, turn him, and when he goes a step, trip. You take the top. Make sense? All right. So if you do it this way, like Tomonagi, you're going to pull him right on top of you. Right? Pull here, I go like this. And he basically fell to the right, but he's going to basically continue to fall on me. I got to pull him in a circle. All right. I pull him straight, the best he can do is fall on me, right? Without the foot, I do this, and I pull hard in a circle. You guys see how I didn't even use the foot, but he worked with me on that throw, and he fell in a winding kind of a arc. So you're pulling him straight to you, different throw. It's not going to work well. Do Tomonagi. Yep. Hit. Take the top. Can we do it? Go. All right. Let's check. Let's see. Brand new. What do I do? Step one.
Make a grip.
Make a grip. All right. Step two.
Pull left.
I'm going to pull left.
Big pull left.
Now what?
Set
the foot.
Set up the other foot.
All right. Now pull right. And when do I activate my trip? As soon as he goes to make the step. So I really have to pull him or else he won't step. Don't step, right? You guys see? That's not going to work. So how am I going to pull him? I'm going to drop all my weight. Now, if he just tries to stay standing and I'm here, pull right there. Let me go. Let me go. Remember what we said about the table, right? If he had 4 legs, this is the one where he would be weak, right? That's what I'm going for. I set this foot, then I hit here, and I pull hard. And I move to the top. Even if I miss the foot, hopefully I can get the takedown. Make sense? All right? Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good coaching. If you can coach me, you should know the technique. If you can coach me, maybe coach somebody else. Let's do the same sort of idea. Left. Right. Right? Makes sense. Except when we go right. Then, instead of moving here and doing this side, right? Instead of doing that, I want to pull this leg. I'm going to set my foot here. I'm going to sit. I'm going to lift him. I'm going to be in the same position. Knee on throw. Almost the same mechanics for my system. When it's in my system, what I like to do when I'm fighting, I always throw this way, ankle propping throw, and I throw opposite for some reason, right? I throw the opposite way. I sit, put my right foot up. I sit, I lift, and I move into knee on position. Can we do it? All right. It's still a sacrifice throw. He's all my weight. He's got to hold all my weight up. Chance is a beast. He could possibly hold all my weight up. Let's see. He's just going to hold me up. It's okay if he does. I said this. He holds me. Oh, look at him. Pretty cool, right? Mm-hmm. But if I got him in motion, it's a little bit harder. Does that make sense? So again, you got to use your weight, brother. He's strong. He could hold me up. He's got momentum. I want to get him so that he's taking this step. And that's what I'm going to throw him, okay? Get a partner, knee on throw. Go. Just curious, how many of you guys wear your uniform outside on the street? Anybody? Nope. What, y'all aren't wearing your super cool uniform? What are you going to grab onto if this is a street fight? Grab the eyes, right? Pull the eyes out of the face, right? I like that. All right, we're going to do a grapple. A grab is with a thumb. A grapple, like a grappling hook, is without a thumb, so it's a thumbless grip. And we're going to grab the arm particularly close to the forearm. Has this really cool thing. It's like a grip, right? Where the arm and the radius are, it goes from one bone to two bones. It's like a natural fit for your hand. So I'm going to grab here, and I'm going to grab here. I can still make these same throws. All right? I pull, I set this foot. I want to catch that foot. It's here. Now I can do it without a uniform. It becomes a no-gi throw or wrestling throw. Pretty cool? Same trick. I got to make sure I get a good grab. He makes a good grab. Right? I'm in here in a wrestling kind of a scenario. I sit hard. I drop. I drive this knee to his body. And we'll pull. We'll pull, we'll push, set, and we'll throw without using the advantage of the clothing. Ankle propping throw, no-gi style, knee on throw, no-gi style. Can we do it?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll show you something evil afterwards. Go. All right. Everybody see this big smile? Come here, Caitlin. It's time to punish Caitlin for all the evil that she's ever done. What do you think would make this throw a lot more evil? Grab the hair. That's exactly right. She's gonna go where I pull her. Does that make sense? I mean, is that legit?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. So. Goldilocks. He's the best looking guy I think I know. All right, except me. All right, so we're going to just grab the hair, and trust me, when I go to make the throw, he's really going to want to go. All right? And then I'm just going to pop his neck for him one time. Does that make sense? So the hair is a great thing to grab, right, Sophie? Suddenly Sophie's like, I like Curtis's haircut better. So Zach's going to grab me by the hair. Go ahead, do it, Zach. Man, is that an advantage or what? By the way, every bald man in the world is suddenly thinking, I knew there was a reason, right? We're warriors, right? The hair is a great advantage, okay? I'm not saying cut your hair. By the way, I think everybody's got the long hair. I'm envious of you. I love you very much. But the bottom line is it's really good. All right. You can grab here. When I go to make this throw, he's going to easily go. Does that make sense? Why?
It's like putting a curve on it. Kind of trips over.
So when I did it with his uniform, if he decided not to throw, he plants this foot, right? And I pull him. He's like, I'm not going to go. right? But the amazing thing is once I turn his head, he loses his balance, right? Which makes this a whole lot easier. Do you see how effective that can be? So we're going to affect the head as its own off-balance point. Whereas you can't do that here. I can only affect the shoulders. Everybody understand?
Yes, sir.
So let's remember that there are some off-balance levels. The head is its own off-balance level. If I affect the shoulders, it's its own off-balance level. The hips are their own off-balance level, the knees, and then ultimately the feet. Pretty cool?
Yes, sir.
So, if I stacked up blocks and I pushed on the top block would probably fall off before the whole thing collapses. But what if I push one block on the bottom and one block on the top? The whole thing just collapses down, right? So Zach's gonna just kind of be the medicine man here from science books, right? If I pull on his shoulder far enough, it could start to affect his hips and his feet. Does that make sense? But if I pull here and I stop this one, you see how quickly he topples. I'm affecting two off-balance levels. Hands up. If I push his, try to hold your position. If I push far enough back on his leg and his butt starts to poke out, right, he should fall. But if I stop this from moving and I push here, he topples. Does that make sense? Pretty cool? So again, in Jiu-Jitsu, let's agree that grabbing the hair would be rude, but totally legit. Does that make sense? Now in this class, I encourage you not to be rude. But out there, if this guy, is messing with me, I've got a choice of grabbing his nice leather jacket, or I can grab his hair. What do you think I'm gonna do? I'll turn his head. I can just throw him with his head only because it's the most important balance point, okay? Cool? Who's gonna try that tonight when you're fighting? All right. Don't twist their head off if you just decide to grab a little hair. By the way, thinking about it requires a little bit of practice, maybe in slow motion. You want to stick that in your head for self-defense. Make sense? By the way, what if somebody has a long enough beard? Nobody in here has a really long beard. Come here, Chance. I might can grab some bearded Chance. If I can grab his hair, ooh, barely enough. Barely enough. But then I grab the beard also. Can I turn the head? Two hands. You need a longer beard like Duck Dynasty dude. Then I can work him. I'm not saying shave your beard or shave your head. I'm just saying to just remember that if I'm thinking about it, don't you think someone else is thinking about it? Work! Oh, no, it's time to fight! Everybody on the wall! But it's also okay to be here. What I want to do ultimately is I want to get down on this knee. I want to get down on this knee, and it pushes me forward. Then I'm going to hook him up here, and I'm going to wrap this foot around his leg. When I pull this and I drive forward, he falls, and I end up in this position. Okay? This is a minor outer reap or a leg-assisted single leg. All right, so I come in, I can start from a grip, and I push, and I hit, just like so. Now, if you go fast, they tend to fall harder. There's nothing wrong with starting here, right? Hitting the opposite foot if you choose, right? Get the knee down, hook them up, and then I get to this position. Okay? Everybody get a partner. We're going to kind of just go slow, right? All right? Easy. But it's never going to be that way. The minute I target this leg and he sees me come forward, he's probably going to move that leg. And I'm like, oh crap, I just lost my whole thing, right? So let's kind of decide what we're going to do. I'm going to start with a grip. Okay? And because I have a grip, I can usually get the leg that I want, even if it's only for a minute. If I pull hard, I make him step, even if he steps back, I can now go for that leg because he's committed. Once he's committed his weight, I have some options, okay? So, I move this leg. If he leaves it out there, then I'm gonna go down, down, hook, this way, all right? If he moves that leg, no problem, right? I snatch it, he moves it back, I go this way. And I hit this leg, okay? Now, you're not trying to win, because we're still drilling. We're not competing, we're not fighting it. But ultimately, when Alex goes to do his move, he should pull me. He should go for that leg, and if this one goes away, he hooks the other one up, right? That's the only defense I can have is to switch feet on him or not. So it gets him used to picking which, trying to get the leg he wants. All right? And that's how we got it. Okay? So we just continue to drill back and forth. I'll go, you go. I'll go, you go. Let's not do this. Right? Alex pulls me, he goes for a leg, then I go, right? Because I know the technique he's doing. I can foil him, I can mess him up. I just want to see if he can get the other leg. I can move one leg. He pulls me, all right? He goes, oh, I switched, he waited, and he caught me, all right? So he waited for me to set my, once I made my move and I set, that's when he shot. So his timing was good. Go! Exposure. I've exposed you to something, you don't know it yet. You've not trained it yet. You kind of, or at least, I've seen it now. What we want to do is get to familiarization. How do we do that? Train. After you get to familiarization, we're looking for expertise. Anybody know definitionally how many times we got to do something to be an expert?
1,000,000.
10,000. 1,000,000 would be super expert. That's my wife. She's a perfectionist. That makes sense. All right. So let's talk for a quick second about what happens when we blow it. Right? Sometimes we're going to blow this, right? So I get Alex, right? And I pull, and I go to make this, and he moves his leg, right? No problem. I start looking for the next leg, and if I can't get to this leg, he pulls that one, and I'm going for this leg until I finally hit him, okay? All right. So let's kind of look at it.
And that was inside that time, not outside.
All right. You can make the inside reap or the outside reap, but both of them will work. Depending on how he reacts, you can never tell. Now, if he completely sprawls and squishes me to the ground, I'm probably going to lose this, but I want to keep good posture. The posture is the magic, right? So I give him a pull, and I say, oh, that's the one. But I'm betting once I shoot in, he's going to feel it, he's going to move it. Watch. He starts to move that leg, no problem. I start hooking this one up, right? Small adaptation. Pull him. He moves the first one, he moves the second one. No problem. I try to hook him the last one, or the extra, whatever leg is left. Okay, now you might notice that I'm never really getting into the position that I really want. I want this position here, right? I never managed to get quite that far. So what are we really doing? It's single leg. So in single leg, particularly wrestling, we're kind of looking for this. So we're just going to hit the one leg. We're just going for the leg only. I like this better if I can tie him up, right? Then I can start making these kind of moves, and it becomes a little more judo and a little less wrestling. Okay? But you got to have those wrestling moves to back you up. So I get here, I pull him, I go for this leg, he moves it. That's the one, he moves that one, no problem. I keep going until I get single leg. Or even in that case, ankle pick. Okay? All right, hunt it. They shouldn't be doing a whole lot of crazy stuff with their feet, but they should be able to move back and move back a couple times until you track them down. So here we are, and we're thinking we're just going to get in here, and we're just going to get this guy. Boom. That's what we're looking for, if we can really fly in there. All right? Alex is smart. He's not going to just let me take him down. He's going to try to kick his legs out and sprawl. Now, if I shoot with bad posture, which I see lots of people doing, it looks like this, right? He comes in, and then you get your head so far forward that he just flattens you to the ground. This is what it looks like, okay? Now, the magic of this particular idea is the posture, right? So when I get in here, and I go to make my move, now watch. Watch my posture. He goes to sprawl on me. You can't sprawl on me out there. You got to get on top of me. All right? See my posture? Does that make sense? So again, can you sprawl if I'm in good posture? Let's watch again. Can you sprawl on the ground? Does that make sense? Because I'm like this. All right, now, he's pretty small. But watch, I'm going to get in this position, and I'm going to try to hold him up when he sprawls. Go. My arms just aren't long enough. Right? Now I go to move in here, and I get to this position, I can hold him up. Okay? the better posture. Okay? Now, somebody significantly bigger, they still might be able to knock me over. It's not foolproof. But I've got better advantage here than I have here when I get squashed. Does that make sense? So let's move to the next move. Posture was the first part of the lesson. This is the next part. I go here, and I go to hook him up, and he moves, right? I step to here. I have both legs. Hook, squeeze, lift, and double leg. Cool. Can we do it? All right, so you made the single leg attempt here, and he starts to move on you. Good posture. I move under him. Right? Now notice, I look almost like I'm in a mirror. Right? If I'm like this, it doesn't work. So I'm going to pull him into this leg. Does everybody see how this leg's in the way? Now I move the leg. When I pull him, watch. I pull him where the leg is gone. Can't pull him to the side, I pull him this way. Can we do it? Double leg. Thank you, sir. On a mat, we call this a waypoint, right? If you want to get from here to Little Rock, you might want to know, well, where's the bridge? That would be a waypoint, right? Which road do I need to get on from here? We're going to take the interstate and so forth. So, little markers tend to help us remember. All right, so we'll be here. He's got left leg forward, I've got left leg forward. This is the natural position for single leg. Down. Down. He moves. Now this knee is now by his lead leg. So this is your first waypoint. He's moved. I gotta move this leg. And instead of doing another knee up and knee down, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this one and swing this one up. So now you guys can see that his body is turned on this angle and it meshes my body nicely. If I end up like this, it's backwards. You can still take him down, but it won't be nice. It won't be pretty. It'll be a wrestle, right? So now I'm in this position. Marker number 2, ear on his hip. This is the lead leg. My ear goes on the lead leg always. If you find yourself ear on the back leg, you're going to throw him in a weird way. Okay? Hands go around. This hand, which is the pulling hand, it's like I'm going to start a lawnmower, right? I grab, and I'm going to pull, and I'm going to pull with my leg. See how this leg can push me back? So I pull. Okay? Now, if I got the wrong leg up, I'm going to throw him on my leg, and that's not going to be good. So this is the leg that should be up. Now watch, he'll fall nicely right by my leg. Okay? Which enables me to put my shoulder into his chest, my head down, climb up his body, and move to a position of control. Can we do that? All right. Y'all tell me. Y'all coach me. Step 1, what do I do?
Knee down.
Okay, I like that. Knee down. Step 2.
Front knee forward.
Front knee goes forward. He starts to move. Step 3.
Right leg.
Swing this leg around. All right, where's the next marker?
Left hand grab his leg.
All right, I got his leg. Ear goes to the hip. Now what? Gable grip.
Push.
I'm going to use this leg to pull him. Lift. Down. Pin. Move up. Into control. All right, if you guys can walk me through it, you should have it. Good? These are takedowns. Throws typically are those things where you are bodily lifting, in many cases a reaping, right? So this is a fun takedown. Now, once we do the takedown, we've got to establish dominance, right? Let's have Vicky and Alex demonstrate for us. So Vicky's going to demonstrate going from single leg into double leg. She's going to do it nice and slow for the camera. Go ahead. So she goes down, swings in, right? She dumps in. Now, what does she do? She puts her knee in his hip. One elbow is on the other hip. Left elbow should be up by his ear. And this leg should be out, and she'd be trying to push her weight to get him into side control, basically to control him, okay? Make sense? Then, of course, if she chooses to, she can kick over and move into the mount. If Alex doesn't like it, Alex is going to bridge, and he's going to move to his next position. Vicky's going to continue to fight. He's going to use his elbows to try to break guard. Move back. And look, this is where Vicky was. Alex is going to move back to the mount. Vicky doesn't like it. This could go on forever. It's a drill. Okay? So let's start here. Everyone with your partner in the mount real quick because we want to do some fighting out here.